My name is Barry Irwin. I'm a detective with Dade County Sheriff's Office, and I want to talk to you today about some life decisions and coping with realities of life and their responsibilities. The reason I can say anything about this is because I oftentimes deal with people that have been in very trying situations. Maybe they've been jailed. Maybe they're going through some abuse at home. They're going through something in their life that not all of us go through all the time. So some of the things that I've found over the years in dealing with them people is that dealing with just regular life can be a real issue. Sometimes insurmountable, or they feel that it's insurmountable. Nothing is insurmountable. But I want to talk to you about those things. One of the first things we need to understand is we need to do what we can to try to make the money that we need to survive and not do something illegal, if that makes any sense. That pertains to getting a job. Not all of us want to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, get ready and go to, go to the factory and do whatever. A lot of us feel that we're not cut out for that, but we have to understand that that's what's necessary. That is what we all have to do anyway, to a certain degree, unless we're one of the 1% that doesn't have to wake up for anything really, or already retired. Getting a job is one of the first things you want to try to concentrate on. That will help you get through the things you need to get through. There's other problems associated with being released from jail, possibly starting over from an abusive relationship or a controlling relationship. But getting a job will do a number of things for you. It's going to give you some self-respect, some confidence, and it will show you that you can do it on your own. Considerations in finding a job. You have to consider, how much money do you really need? Not what you want, okay? Because we all want to drive the Ferrari. We all want to, vacation in Maui 3 times a year. But not all of us can do that. So we have to figure out the actual amount of money that we need to survive. Rent, insurance, childcare, vehicle, whatever it takes for you to survive, and each person is a little bit different. But you have to decide how much money you absolutely need. How much time you have available. Are you a single parent trying to raise a child? Do you have a criminal record? What is your work history? And another consideration is, don't set your sights too high. If you have no experience in banking and you have a criminal record, you're not going to be hired as a bank president. Don't set your sights too high. Set your sights for what's real. If you have a criminal history, there are certain jobs that will not hire you. I know the police department will not hire you. There are certain other jobs that are financial in origination, and you may be not trusted to do those things. But there are several jobs out there that you can, and you can do very well with. Car mechanics, factory jobs, forges, different things like that you can actually make a very good living. It's decently skilled labor, but not like you have to be in college for 6 years to do it. And you can make a really good living. There's some parts of the service industry, restaurants, where you can make a halfway decent living. And a lot of restaurants you can work at in the evening or during the day, and they'll work with you on your schedule for your child. But those are the primary things that you want to take into consideration. You also want to be honest with yourself. I grew up hearing, if you can find something that you love and make a living at it, you're a lucky person. Well, I agree, you are. But you're not always going to find what you love to be able to make a living at. So there's times that we have to make concessions, and maybe I don't really like this job, but it gives me enough money to take care of my family. It gives me enough money to have a vehicle and to live my life. Now, again, I'm not going to drive a Ferrari. I'm not going to vacation in Maui 3 times a year, but I can make it. And a lot of times that's what we have to consign ourselves to doing is making it. Now, that's not to say that you don't progress in your job, but you're not going to start off after, let's say, coming out of jail. You're not going to start off as, again, a bank president. You're not going to start off as the CEO of a company or, you're just not. You're going to start at the bottom, and you're going to have to work yourself up. Employers look for things when they hire you. They look in your background. Were you reliable? Have you received training in what you're applying for? But mainly, most employers are looking for an interest and availability, which is a dedication to the job. Which means that if the company's in a bind and they need someone for overtime, sometimes you got to do it. Sometimes you take the overtime. It's good for you, for a little extra money, but you're also showing them, yes, I care enough about your company that, I'm going to sacrifice some too. So as long as you can find care for your kids and things like that, be available to show interest and availability to the job that you do get. After you get the job, you gotta keep it. You gotta retain that job. You want to show up ready. You don't want to show up and then not start working for an hour. People will see that. A lot of us will show up at work and maybe have a cup of coffee. I have a cup of coffee while I'm working. And if you can, that's fine. But if your job has to do with repetitive hand work or something like that, you may not have time for coffee. Have your coffee before you get there. Remember this, if you're not valuable to the employer, they're not going to keep you. If when they look at you, you're constantly wasting time, or you're at the water cooler, or you're not at your job station, at a certain point, when it comes time possibly for a layoff or that they've just had it with you, you're going to be gone. Be valuable. Show up ready. Do the job you're asked to do. And always remember that problem employees will be released as soon as the employer can. They're not going to keep a problem. They have enough problems. They're not going to keep an employee that's a constant problem. The other thing is to be ready to change. Don't be so set in your way with the company you work for that you can only do it one way. Be agile in the workforce. Roll with the punches, because things are going to change. The rules in your job will change. Different things will change. I read in a magazine article that there are 14 qualities that most people look for in hiring and within a job. Service, which is to contribute to making the world a better place. Okay, that's kind of lofty, but if you can find something that you can do that is also bettering the world, that's a great thing. Location, if you don't have a vehicle, you don't want to pick a job that's 40 miles away. You again, set your hopes to what you can realistically do. You want to be loyal to the company, to your boss. You want to show them you're loyal, and they will show you also loyalty. You want some security in your position. They want security in your position too. They don't want to have to worry about you calling out sick for your third time this week. Of course, unless you're sick, but a lot of times if you're calling out often, you're not always sick. The prestige of a position. It's important for a lot of people to have a respectable position. It just has to be a realistic, respectable position. Again, as I said before, you're not going to start off in a company as the CEO. You're going to start off on the lower levels. Maybe you're taking out the trash. It's okay. you can work yourself out of that. Your expertise will grow with your job experience. It will grow with training, and it will grow with support from the company and you supporting the company. You want the power to influence over people. It's often said that it's one thing to have to live through change, but it's something else when you're making the change. It's a lot easier when you're making the change. However, again, it comes down to realism, what you can do at the time. You want to maintain your health and your physical fitness to do the job. You want to try to find some enjoyment. A lot of that is frame of mind as well. How you're looking at things. You want to be able to have time for your family. And of course, you want to make enough money, all the money you can, really. But again, realism is the key. You want the feeling of accomplishment or achievement. And let's face it, we're going to spend a lot of time with people at work. Some enjoyment, some personal friendships and different things. That's a great thing as well. Remember that money is not the answer to everything. It does help, but it's not the answer to everything. If you're constantly needing more money, you may want to rethink the choices you're making. If you're spending $150 a month in eating out, which is actually pretty low, but if you're spending that much money, but you're only making $800 a month, that's a good portion of what you're making just to eat out. It may be time to start taking your own lunch. Maybe you can eat for $50 out for the month. Lunches I'm talking about, but you want to keep track of your money. You want to follow through with responsibilities. You want to pay your bills. Consider someone to help you if you're not good at it. And you want to keep your job. You want to advance and gain valuable experience. Some do's and don'ts with money. Don't borrow from check cashing places. Last I saw, I believe it was about 390% interest. They're going to have you sign over your vehicle, and unless you really get lucky, you're not going to be able to pay them back. They have a lot of vehicles that they buy, sell, trade, have in repossession. And from a $400 or $500 loan, they have your $3,000 car. There's no winning from that. Don't borrow from check cashing places. Don't overspend, and don't fall for schemes. If someone says, "Here, give me $75 today, and I'm going to make you a partner in this company. It's going to make you millions." Sounds too good to be true. It probably is. Look out for predatory collections, predatory lenders. If they're pushing to give you money, it's probably not a good thing. Usually, if it's a worthwhile way for you to get money, a loan or something, you have to work for it. You have to provide them things. You have to jump through a lot of hoops to get there. And it's usually through a reputable type bank or lending. Try not to borrow from family unless you have to. But I would say borrow from family before you borrow from a check cashing place. Try to be independent, try to be responsible, and keep your finances in order all you can. That's part of it, is being responsible and being independent enough to make it through life, especially after an incarceration, especially after something like a bad relationship. However, as always, you can almost always trust your family. So fall back on them, but try to do it on your own. One thing I'll say in living on your own, sometimes, and we all come from a different background. We all come from whatever it may be. Some of us were raised to be clean. Some of us, it wasn't all that important. Some of us were raised to be frugal with money and save it and make a penny go a long way. Some of us weren't, and that's okay. But always try to understand that If you're clean and you clean your home, clean yourself, you'll be sick less. You'll spend less money on medical bills. You'll spend less money on medications and other things. You'll have to see the doctor less and try to exercise, try to keep your body going and working as well as possible. Stay away from your addictions. We all know there are addictions out there, whether it's an illegal drug or if it's booze, alcohol, whatever it may be. For some of us, it may be food. I've got to work on staying away from food. But whatever your addiction is, stay away from that. Eat healthy, sleep well, do the things that you can to remove the problems in your life. If you don't sleep and you go to work, you're cranky, you're upset, maybe you're not working properly, and your boss sees that. So the things that you can do to make your life better, sleeping well, eating well, taking care of your body and keeping clean, that also means clean your home too. A disorderly home is hard not to spill over into the rest of your life. Do your best and none of us are going to be perfect at it. None of us will, but do your best to try to keep it clean. When you go to work, you want to be in clean clothes. You don't want to be, you don't want to be the smelly guy, the smelly gal in the corner. Keep your clothes clean and try to be presentable. One of the biggest things is stay with your program. Whatever. If you've been incarcerated, if you've been in a bad relationship, whatever the things may be that have brought you to where you are, there's going to be people working with you. There's going to be people that are sponsoring you and they're going to be in your corner, okay? Stay with that program. Trust your sponsors. Talk to your family. Call the people that are helping you, okay? Keep track of your money. Follow through with your responsibilities. Try to make that one of the most important things, because a lot of times when we are down, we're known to be irresponsible, not very trustworthy. We're known to be the person no one goes to for help. We want to work to change that. We want to work to be the person that can be trusted. It will benefit you in your job. It'll benefit you with your family. But also try to find the way that works best for you. What works great for me may not be great for you. So each of these decisions, they're a basis. And then you can decide for yourself the way you want to go about doing it. But that's one of the biggest things. The last thing I'll tell you is go forward with some confidence, okay? Each of us are worth it. Each of us have fallen, okay? In law enforcement, we don't often judge you for the way you fall. We judge you on how you get back up, okay? We all fall. Every one of us have been in a bad way. Some of us work our way out of it. Some of us stand and whatever of life's little triumphs, we can say we did it, and you can too. You can do it. You are ready. You're worthy.